What I'm going to show you today are some sweet peppers. I usually grow the rounder ones, but this year I fancied growing the longer ones. These ones are called Romano Mix, so they should be all sorts of different colours. They're sweet peppers, so they're not the spicy chilies, you know, like you get. You can get some very long sweet peppers in Spain, actually. They tend not to do the round ones like we have in the UK, but I just thought these looked absolutely gorgeous. Usually you find with peppers that they'll all start green. If you leave them on the plant, the sun will gradually turn them to yellow and then to red. But they're lovely, they're really, really nice. And I do like peppers, and even if these are quite small, then they can still be cooked as long as you take the seeds out. In fact, you can then save the seeds if you dry them properly, and I'll try and remember to do that actually, so then you can sow them the following year. So I'm just going to show you how to sow these. Right, now I have a little seed tray here. There are 50 in the packet, and I'm not going to sow all of those because that's just ridiculous. I'm not quite sure where I'll put them all. So I will just sow a few. The germination rate for peppers does tend to be pretty good. So only sow, you know, what you reckon you'll use, and maybe a few more. So before we sow them, what we'll do is we'll just give the compost a bit of a water. Not much left in the watering can, but it's just about enough. There we go. And then we'll start sowing. Now you can sow these from February. If you're indoors, you can. Don't plant them outside until May. But it's April now, and it has been quite sort of chilly. Actually, some days have been really nice, but today, because I'm doing some filming, it's going to be cold and wet and rainy. But never mind. But I'm going to actually grow these in the greenhouse. I don't think in the UK we actually have warm enough weather to actually sow them outside. Now, if you can see the seeds there, they're exactly the same as all the other pepper seeds. And in fact, they look exactly the same, or very, very similar to tomato seeds. So we will just sprinkle these. Make sure you don't get any too close together. Ooh, on the compost. If you do find you get some a bit too close together, then you can always move them. There we go. There's a little bit more space there. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cover them over gently with some compost. They should start to come up in about 10 to 14 days, depending on the temperature that you have. If you find that your temperature is, the weather outside is a bit cool, they may well take a little bit longer. But I will keep you posted on how they're doing. So there we go. Right, so that's those peppers all done. Cover them up with a little bit of compost. Once they start to get a little bit bigger, then I will prick them out and put them in their own little pots, but I will show you that, so don't worry. But these ones will grow in the greenhouse just because the UK temperature is not warm enough. If you live in somewhere where you get really glorious summers, please send some heat over here, it would be wonderful. Then you could most probably grow them outside, and they would absolutely love it. So if you're lucky to have a nice decent temperature in the summer where you live, then yes, you can grow them outside, but unfortunately I can't in the UK, and I have to sow them and grow them inside. But I will keep you posted on their progress, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.